Alrighty. Well, those of you who can't really see what that is, it's basically a camper built off one of these little bangers. There's another one. Now, get this to go full screen, and there you go. Now these, in case you don't know, these are common in particularly parts of Europe, like the smaller islands of Italy, the Greek islands, stuff like that. It's just a little shitbox of a buggy type thing, just a little two-person thing, you know. Tiny little bit of sponge foam on the seats, or they're just straight hard plywood. Some glorified bloody wheelbarrow tyres, and you got some little, you know, single or double cylinder, tiny little thing under the seat, probably only single cylinder, like a motorbike engine, and you just trundle around like so. Now, what they generally use a lot of, that's just a screen sliding over from, there you go, there's inside it. What they generally use those for is, you doing, pussy? It's just like to, pretty much they'll drive them right down to the pier or wherever they got their boat docked, and they'll load the back up with the fish they've caught for the day. They might trundle around a bit of produce down to the market or whatever. Or if they've got to, you know, take, you know, like potatoes or vegetables or something somewhere, or, you know, the local baker might be trundling around with a few bags of flour, just to move stuff around when you don't need vehicles that ain't going to fit down half of these little side streets, because a lot of these little side streets and alleyways, they're very small. You know, these places were built hundreds and hundreds of years ago, before the advent of cars, and, you know, these do the job of just running around the island. You know, you don't have bloody 40 miles to drive every day, so they're just good enough. But what this guy's done is he's actually made one up like a camper, and it's quite remarkable that he's managed to do that. I'll see if I can get a... There you go. So they're putting the sheet metal on the top there. I haven't watched this in full, but yeah. But they're basically going ahead and he's using an airline to... Oh no, that's a fucking riveter. Air riveter. That's a different... Geez, the air riveters I used to use are bloody big. I think it's a riveter, because either that or it's screws that he's putting in. But yeah, they've basically gone and turned one into a camper. And it's quite remarkable that they've managed to do exactly that. So that's something that I thought I'd show you guys anyway, because there you go, you can see the front wheel turn a little bit. You know, these things, they're not great, you know. There's no heater, there's no cooling. Some people might jerry-rig a fan up, but generally speaking, there's no heater or cooling. You know, and plenty of these are just sitting there parked, not even with any doors on them. I'm sure you can just pull the doors off, a bit like, you know, like Humvee style, where you just lift the frickin' thing up off the hinge sort of thing. You know, and there was that sort of stuff in England as well. One of my mum's friends was saying they used to see stuff like it. And, you know, a lot of it's like your fisheries industry uses that sort of stuff, and people loading and unloading stuff off boats and whatnot. You know, there's just, they trundle around and stuff like that. They've also got, they used to have daily milk deliveries in England, and they had stuff like that, and just a little machine that would just puddle along. And over time they actually found, because there's so much stop-start and they've done so much idling, and the wear and tear on the clutches in particular, they actually found they were better to use electrical vehicles. Similar sort of thing, exact same thing they used to deliver the, what's his name, in the daily milk delivery in, but eventually they swapped to electric vehicles because of sheer fuel costs and wear and tear on clutches from the stop-start bullshit, and the, you know, constant move off brake, move off brake, move off brake, you know. And so, yeah, but I just thought that was a bloody interesting little thing. It'd be even better if this damn camera would get the right light on it. It's a bit like the motorbike camper. It's one of these things that you know, it's like a super small size one, and honestly, you probably wouldn't want to be any taller than bloody 4'10" to sleep in it. But anyway, I mean, a lot of the trick is that, you know, when you've got your cab over, you can make your bed up there. And if you can stand up that way, you're fine. And if you can lay flat and you can go right along above the cab, you're generally fine. Which is why I've had different ideas about pickup trucks, because we've got some here that are everything that's a pickup truck, or a ute as we call it. You know, and these vans are commercials, and the price is all jacked up a bit. But I will say that I have seen some of them for sale that, like, they have the most, and even when I worked at the Pergola joint back in 2004, they have the most unbelievably huge roof racks you could ever possibly imagine. And you sort of look at that stuff and you sit there going, my gosh, I can stick like 12 foot worth of just on the top of this vehicle. And I've seen one that was in a used car section that was only like about a blooming 5-year-old vehicle, or 7-year-old vehicle, or something like that. It was less than 10 years old, and you know, had a roof rack on there. And I thought I could make a frame up to sit on this roof rack, and you would have the most colossal size frickin' camper, you know, on this thing. And still, it'd only be quote unquote something you've strapped to the roof rack, you know. So it'd be perfectly fine. Yeah.